and people were joking because like they said the AI made my forehead big, but as you can see, my forehead is just big.
Nah, man. I
Yeah,
see
man.
some big. I see some big foreheads.
Yeah.
You're say
Well,
big.
my
Yeah.
hairline is gone like, way back. I'm getting old, so
Well,
anyway.
that's why we're at.
Yeah.
Because
I
mine's doing
probably
the same thing,
I
buddy.
probably need to be wearing a hat again. It's all good though. Hey everyone, welcome to I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. I'm Slim.
I am Black, aka the Raging Bull X.
And I'm Chris. How you doing?
All right, all right. And we are back for another episode. So this is pretty cool. Like I said, we are primarily video podcast now, and this is pretty cool. Is dope because the last one, unfortunately, Black had to miss that one because of work. Man, that job though, man. Like, like I said, I wouldn't want to be a supervisor, yo. I give you props. I would not want to be a supervisor for real. Oh yeah, he's there. I was looking. Sorry, I didn't introduce Bear. Bear's right there, and I had to double check to make sure he was still there. Yeah, he just gets up and goes when he wants to go now.
Mhm.
Yeah, bro, I commend you. I couldn't be a supervisor because of those issues where it's like, yo, we need you to stop for this. We need you to stop for this. We need, that kind of stuff. Oh, hey, we somebody's got to cover. Hey, you're the guy. That's much props, bro. Much
Yeah,
props.
just talking about it drives me to drinking. So sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'll share a water bottle. How about that? I think I saved my drinking for the weekend. But it's pretty cool having us all three on video now. As you saw in the reveal episode, we got some more things coming. So we do have an episode coming up that I was just discussing with Black. That's coming up where he's going to kind of have his solo show. I did it. Chris did it. And Black's going to get his solo show. We're just going to hash some things out, find out exactly what he's going to talk about. And that will be up hopefully sometime in the next couple of weeks, possibly after this one. I don't know yet. But going into this episode, pressing start. Well, sorry, I said pressing start. I actually was told by Vox not to say pressing start. It's actually press start, the game that turns you into a gamer. This episode, we're going to discuss different video games that you can introduce to someone who's never gamed before and who's just starting to game out. Chris gave me the idea just off of a quick idea earlier this week, or was it last week? I think it was last week. No, it was this week. It was this week. And this can be a broad subject just because of people saying, okay, well, what constitutes a great game to start with? Chris, can I go into a little bit more details about what you were thinking about when you came up with this topic?
Yeah, sure. Mainly, what inspired me was I've been hanging out with one of my cousins lately, and as we've been hanging out over the years, it's like she's never really been a gamer, but every time she starts interacting with games, she really enjoys herself. So
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
was kind of like thinking about because I've never had success actually trying to get my wife is not a gamer, so she doesn't mind me gaming, and and once in a while I'll throw her into something that I think is cool, and
Right,
but it's more of an experience than actually setting her down for a game. And
right, right.
when she did play, it was definitely like the old school stuff, like the old arcade games like Centipede and Miss Pac-Man, which are around about the only two I've ever heard her mention that she played. But
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, as
Fun
far as
fact.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt. Fun fact. Black has a Miss Pac-Man sitting right next to him, a arcade machine, which is actually kind of cool. I was like, "Hey, that's cool as hell, dude."
Oh man,
So
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead and continue.
No, but yeah, it's but yeah, I was just like wondering where, like to actually get her to like game on it. And she's kind of, I wouldn't say looking for things to do right now, but she's got a little bit of time on her hands and whatnot. And so I was like, that might be a neat little hobby or something for her to pick up. Because when she was here recently, I was going to let her, matter of fact, and I think she's been to Egypt, but I was going to let her experienced the mode in Assassin's Creed Origins where
Mhm.
you can just walk around the city and in the environments and learn stuff. And I was going to let her do that, but we basically ran out of time before we actually had a chance to get into it. But I was
Word,
like,
word.
yeah, I was wondering where, I thought about like the combat and things that go into that. But I was like, with you being able to maybe you can bring the difficulty down in most games and whatnot nowadays anyway. So I was like, maybe what type of game would I actually try to get her into to actually get her to play, like I guess on a little more regular basis.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, okay. That's actually a good, start into that, and it kinda makes you think. It's like, "Okay, so what is this person has never been a gamer, what types of game will this person get into? What can I suggest to say, okay, you don't have this skill or, you do have this skill. What do you I think you would be hooked on?" So let's let's discuss. Well, let me say it like this. I don't want to say let's discuss, but what do you think makes a great game? Black, what's one thing you think makes a great game?
What, for entry level? As far as like
Just
to
period,
bring
really.
somebody in,
So
just
let's
period.
start with that. Let's start, and well, you know what? I would say a period. So let's stick with actually this topic. Yes. What makes
Mhm.
a great first game?
I would have to say something that's easy for the person who doesn't have much experience
Mhm,
with games or no experience at all.
mhm.
Something that's really easy, something that's really as far as the controls and getting to know, nothing too complicated, but
Yeah.
something really, really, really fun.
Right.
So I'll give you an example. So my wife, she doesn't play games like I play games. She play games on her phone like Candy Crush and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
uh, so I have Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Streets of Rage 4, is one of those kind of like games where just take the controller and just go and punch somebody, go throw somebody or something like that. So it's a classic beat 'em up.
Right.
So I said one weekend we just lounging and I said, "Hey, babe, why don't you try to play this right here?"
Mhm.
And to my surprise, she picked up the controller.
Wow.
I was shocked. And she enjoyed herself. That's shock number 2,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's gotta be something fun, but easy for them to, for them to control. That's what I think a great entry level game should be.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense, yeah, and there's been situations. So both my wife and my daughter originally weren't gamers at some point, and I've gotten them into games. My wife Oh, no, sorry, I said my wife wasn't a gamer. She actually was an old school gamer, but I'll go into that in a minute. Chris, what do you think makes a great first game?
Yeah, like I said, is yeah something that they can actually get into quickly and easily, where you get a pretty a decent amount of visual feedback as well as pretty decent controls. But there's so there's a little something out there for everybody now. I mean, you've got like the Telltale games where you've got the interactive stories basically where they can just pick the lines of dialogue.
Mhm.
Or and then there's still like the retro arcade games, the things where you can actually emulate the older stuff like Galaxian and Frogger and for people who have done that. But m- like just going from my cousin's perspective and how I've interacted with her, I remember years ago I took like a PlayStation 3, 2, no, 2 over to might have been a 3 over to their house one day and she and her sister were playing Gran Turismo, and oh my god, I had to. I was there till the wee hours of the morning because they were on it and seemed to be having fun. And then most recently, my cousin was here, and I mean, was you? She tried out an early part of the Batman game in VR,
Mhm.
and and she seemed to really like that. But like I said, it's kind of y- you know, is it going to be something like the experience or is it going to be the gameplay? I mean, I
Mhm.
guess a combination of both, but
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I agree with both what y'all both of y'all have said. Easy to pick up. Um, and if you see me keep looking, I'm looking at my notes here. So
Mhm.
easy to pick up, clear goals, immediate fun factor. low punishment for failure and vibes. Definitely vibes matter. How the game feels, how it flows, the music that goes along with the games, different things like that. Um, and of course, there's going to be multiple categories. Uh, so we actually have a couple of us. Chris was said he already told us ahead of time. He's still kind of figuring it out what kind of game he would pick. Black and I actually have discussed, decided on a couple of games to start out with. But before we get into our picks, one thing I wanted to kind of to go into, and fellas, if you disagree, agree, go ahead and feel free to stop me here. I feel when it comes to gaming, because the genre has broadened over so much over the years, you have to kind of wonder what what you really want to start the person out with. So you probably need to actually get a gauge of that person's personality first, right? So you have to know like different things that they like. Um, you can have a complete sports fan and they're a sports fan, but chances are they're not going to pick up that basketball game or that baseball game. They might love a zombie game, you know? Um, they could be a Call of Duty fanatic, even though they're a total sports fan. So you kind of have to kind of gauge the type of thing that you would want. And then along the lines with those games, Call of Duty or a different zombie game, zombie hunting game, you got to know, okay, how well would this person be able to pick this game up? So I definitely feel genres and knowing some more about them, knowing, the type of person they are, whether they like action movies or just even a party game for the family. Chris, I don't think Mama Pat is going to want to play Call of Duty compared to possibly picking up, a Mario Party controller, because Mario Party is fun and it's something that all of us can do. However, another party game, I don't think she will pick up a controller for uh, Mario Kart. So, it's like, what do you want this person like? You have to know this person's personality. Um, all of our wives. Like Black said, he was really surprised when his wife picked up Streets of Rage 4. Chris, I don't know. I think you might have told me before. I don't. I can't remember us discussing your wife actually playing any video games. However, my wife, like I said now earlier, is an old school gamer. She's hooked on Mario. So now every Mario game that comes out, almost every Mario game that comes out, she is owned. Right now, I'm going to in a couple of weeks get us so you see I have a Switch there now. Um, I'm going to get us the Switch membership to where you can actually play and download old Nintendo games and other genre, from different Nintendo eras. And she's going to be able to play any Mario game she wants, whenever she wants. So, that is the type of gamer she is. And I don't have to worry about different games. However, I know she will not do well in Call of Duty. I think with time she probably would, because at one point my daughter didn't play Call of Duty, and then I taught her how to play, and now she plays more than I do. But then again, she plays Dead by Daylight, and I play it, just not that often. Well, I haven't played it since we played it. So, but she plays that almost every at least once a week. She plays that game. So
Don't remind me of that game.
well, we just got to
Honestly,
get
I went back,
we got to get back on it
dude.
and
I
win.
went back to that game and I wasn't feeling it.
Oh, really? Did you
I
get
went
any
back
wins
to it
at
a
all?
couple of times and I was just like, huh?
Did you get any wins?
I thought it was cool, but I was just like,
So,
I
but
can
see,
give or take it.
here's the one thing about that game though is for that game you have to communicate, and if you just go in there silent and you go silent with one person, you're not going to have a good time either, because you have to communicate, you have to tell them. So being the only person on there without any microphones or headset, or not using your microphone or headset, you're going to be trying to run around there by yourself when somebody can't tell you that the killer is coming from this angle. Watch out. All you have to constantly be looking yourself. So that game is a true communication game to actually play. In order to play that, you really should go in there with a party. So
I had fun when we played it, but it was
Mhm.
just still kind of, like I said, it was just. I think the whole not being able to fight back element is, I think, the thing to get that. Yeah, that kind of throws
That right
me.
there, senior. That right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
What
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, and that part it does suck terribly not being able to fight back.
yeah.
So they really should have a game where you still have to complete the task and you have to have some kind of level of fighting back. So
I know it goes against them. I know it goes against the horror movie rules, but being that this is video games, I would like to have the opportunity that if I get the drop on his ass and I kick him in the face and he drops his daggone chainsaw, hey, win-win for me. I mean, till the gas runs out or whatever.
I, hey, look, I totally agree. Just like Chucky. I mean, come on, man. I should be able to boot him.
Yes,
I should be able to boot him.
Yeah, well, Chucky got the drop on people in the movies too, though. So even like, how many times have Chucky been booted in the movies and still keep coming?
Well, I don't know. That lady threw
Yeah.
him real hard in the first one.
Yeah.
She tossed him across the room when she found out he was alive.
But he still kept running back towards her though.
Yeah, he did. He did. He bit her tooth. He bit her tooth.
All right. Well, let's go. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start off with Black, talking about his 2 different games that he wants to discuss, and then I'm gonna talk about mine, and then Chris, if you have a couple that came to mind that you can just from talking about it a little bit, feel free. You know, you can go ahead and drop in, or actually, I might go ahead and see if you before I drop mine in, see if you can have any that come to mind. You know, go ahead and tell us, what are the 2 games that you think would be good for a first-time gamer to start as their first game to get into that will most likely get them hooked into gaming?
Okay, so when I was a kid, I used to get all my friends to play Double Dragon with me in the arcade.
Mhm.
That was kind of like it was super fun for me. Either Double Dragon or Street Fighter or something like that. But I always thought arcade games, even though they're kind of like cliche now, um, I always thought arcade games was a great way to get people that didn't play games like talking about it to, hey man, come just put in a couple quarters, man, and rock with me on this one,
Mhm.
you know. Um, but as far as modern day, um, I I ended up getting a lot of friends that I didn't even know. I ain't gonna call them friends, just people that I game with online on Destiny. And these are people that didn't really play like that.
Mhm.
And I realized that helping them out and giving them ideas of how to play the game better and seeing them enjoy it, I was like, that's the first game that came to mind because that was the only there's other online games I play, but that was the first one that I really got into.
Mm.
And I realized I played it a lot and I was able to help a lot of people who never really played it or never really gamed at all, like talking about it. And they saw Destiny and they was like, oh man, I want to play that, but I don't know how, and you
Mhm.
could talk to people on strikes, and all that. Yeah, it's just an awesome, awesome game to start out with, if you're not really, into games or you're curious about games.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. Destiny is a very good starter game. Um, I think for certain levels, like I don't think I would hand it to some younger kids. And it's
Mm,
not because of violence, it's not because of anything like that, as far as like with weapons or anything like that. I think for them, it was just a matter of understanding.
mm,
And unless that kid has other games under their belt, to me, I don't think I would hand it to a younger kid. Now, an older, like let's say teenager, preteen, for sure, I think that could be definitely a good starter game. But my one of my picks actually is an arcade game. So you talking about the arcade is right up my alley right there, you know. So I agree with you. It's especially Double Dragon for old school style. I think that's actually pretty dope. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, I agree with arcades. That would be so fun for real. So. Um, so Chris, you said that you possibly might actually have a couple game picks that you can actually have. What picks that came to mind for you?
Yeah, actually, like when I honestly, what Black said about Streets of Rage 4, yeah,
Mhm.
after he said that, that is a perfect game. because you can jump in and you can play with them with somebody on site, and you can kind of usher them through that, and they aren't alone, and they get to spend some time with that. But something like that in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
where you can anything in that genre. But
Mhm.
also, like, as far as like a more modern game, I would like, let's say my cousin and her sister, which both they're my cousins, but we'll skip that detail. But yeah, they but but they seeing how much they actually like, Gran Turismo, and it was even, the early ones were beautiful games. Something that's visually striking like that you can easily get into nowadays would be like Forza Horizon 5 would be
Mhm.
an excellent game. I mean, because it's beautiful no matter what you do, even just driving around, you're earning points and stuff, and you can pretty much just pick a car, pick a soundtrack that you like, whatever genre of music you like, and put on a pair of headphones. You can just let somebody go to town. And I mean,
Mhm.
they can opt into the races if they want, or they could just drive around racing the vehicles that are, running around the different areas of the city, or you can just go cross country. You can pretty much, most areas where you can see, although there might be, like some terrain blockage because, like, if there's a mountain or something back there. But yeah, for the most part, if you can see it, you can pretty much drive there most of the time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you're
Yeah.
still getting points for it no matter what, which some
Yeah.
people think is too easy or whatever. But I'm like, it's a pretty
It's
cool
it's it's
casual
great for
game, or yeah, or however you want to play it.
it's
So
great for beginners because
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 4 was the first one I played, and I was like,
Mhm.
man, this game is off the chain.
Yeah.
so
And they're
so
beautiful.
my thoughts on Forza. I played the Forza that came with the Xbox and the dual pack where it was Forza and I think it was Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I believe.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
uh, and I've always had struggles with driving games, driving simulators. And I think for me, I've only had the struggles because when I drive, I flow with the move of the car. So if I can't feel the car moving, I can't drive. So the controller for me, it was I've always like crashed cars in those games. And I I think that would be a struggle for any type of gamer that starts that way, like that is similar to me to where you got that big steel cage around you and you can feel that motion of that cage going and I say cage, but the car. You have
Mhm.
the that car around you and you flow with the motion. You know, okay, this little bit is gonna take me this far over. With the controller, this little bit always sends me way over here for some reason, and it's so hard for me.
You gotta have that touch,
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
well,
keep
that
in
slight
mind
touch.
the earlier games were more, and the regular Forza line, just the ones without the horizon in them,
mhm,
are lean more towards the Sims, even though they're not full Sims anymore either.
right.
But Horizon would be a really, well, didn't think I'd, end up trying to recommend it to you, but yeah, that'd be a good place for you to start driving, because even like the way that the controllers work now,
Mhm,
the physics of the game, and like say when you're screeching around a turn,
mhm,
or like if you're drifting or something around, and keep in mind it's way more arcadey now, so you can feel that in the controller, so you get the feedback, and the immersion is so much better now.
mhm,
Mhm.
And like I said, being that you can pretty much drive anywhere, like you don't have to even just strictly stay on the roads. Just driving around gives you a good idea and gets you used to the controls. And then even if you do decide to like jump into a race,
mhm,
the way that the learning device is set up in the game, it literally highlights the ideal spot for you to the path for you to travel.
mhm,
And
Yep.
it turns red when if you're going too fast, and then you can just slow down until it turns either yellow or green, which yellows can like you're gonna have to fight it a little bit in order to
Mhm.
make the turn or whatever, or say but when it turns green, you can pretty much you're
You can book it.
at a pretty good speed to make it. But
Mhm.
yeah, and but the way it's set up now, yeah, they are really easy to get into. And
Mhm.
yeah, I would really recommend that for you to try more, especially Forza Horizon 5, which is
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I will say on that one that won't be one that I'll say I'll try out. I'll say I'll consider it, but I I won't definitely say try out only because, like I said, with me with driving games, I've gotten more frustration out of it than fun. But going along with what both of you have said, though, um, arcade games. I think a good starting game. So I went off of what I was saying earlier, how there are different styles and genres and different things like that. Um, and I felt that arcade was one of the ways to go to get somebody into gaming, just so they can kind of get into gaming and they can get the mechanics down. And for me, my arcade pick would be Street Fighter. It's basic. It's you're facing one way, and it's a 2D for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Of course, now they have, more, but Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, honestly, that's the one, Street Fighter 2. But in the arcade, not at home, because you gotta get that joystick so you can kinda get used to it. And that joystick, the game mechanics, you learn more, you get things like that. Once you get into that, that can tell you what type of gamer you are because you're like, okay, I like this beat 'em up. Oh, I don't really like this beat 'em up. However, I can use the controller. So then you move on to another controller of different style. And I feel
You know, this
like,
brings back trauma for me, right?
was that Street Fighter?
J- Man, mainly, or the controller. The day I went to buy an arcade controller, which they
Mm,
had at this used, they had like one with, I mean, like it was built like an actual arcade with the arcade switches and everything.
mhm,
And the day I went and bought the thing, because they had it at this used video game store in one of the malls. Day I bought it, matter of fact, it was out of Patrick Henry. The day that I bought that thing and brought it home because I was really planning on throwing it and playing because I had just got Mortal Kombat 3. Come home and all my stuff is gone. Somebody's
oh,
broken
wow.
in and just stolen all my junk.
Oh, man,
So I've
that's
got a
wild.
joystick, with a big joystick and no game, no console to play it on.
That's messed up. That is
That's
wild.
crazy.
Yeah, I probably would have thrown it against the wall.
I don't know. The rage would have came out of Raging Bull. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh,
Oh
man,
my
you
God.
talking man, I feel you. I would that would have pissed me off for real, yeah. But, man, yeah. Anyway, I was sorry about that. I mean, it's years later, and I wanna apologize. I didn't even do it, and I'm like, "Man, I'm sorry," because that feeling right now, I can feel the rage building up. I would be so
That's
angry.
painful.
Yeah, man.
That kind of reminds me of the pain I felt from when Xbox slapped me.
Oh
Yo,
man. Yeah.
man, yeah, Xbox. But did you hear though? Um, they're dropping the price of Game Pass.
They are.
They
Yep.
dropped it $7, and there's some more things that are coming down. Of course, the new CEO also she changed the logo back, and there's a couple other things that she's doing. So
They gonna
this,
go back to look. Not to cut you off, but they gonna go back to exclusivity, man. That's where they gonna go. That's
yeah.
where they're gonna go. That
Well,
all
well,
this.
I don't
That's where
think
they're gonna go.
so. I don't think so. Only because they're trying to acquire Valve or Steam. They're trying to acquire Steam. I saw something that said they had already did, but I saw something else that they were trying to. So it's
What?
one of those two.
I ain't hear about that.
I want to see. I want
Yeah.
to see what the actual story is because the stories I
Mm.
saw. Yeah, Chris, you said what? No, you say you don't. You
I
didn't
hope
hear.
not.
But that's what. So that's what I
Yeah,
said. I
I
gotta read. I gotta
like
read the
Steam
actual
and
story.
That's what
Microsoft
Sony's
separate.
doing. That's
Yeah,
what Sony's doing. So Sony said PC. Oh, we're not getting enough revenue from PC, so we ain't gonna sell the PC. That's the future of Sony. That's
yeah,
what they talking about.
yeah.
That's
But
fine with
but
me. I will be playing a whole lot less Sony games, but
yeah. Well,
because I ain't
well.
giving
See,
up
and
I ain't
PC.
buying no PS.
that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to read that story because I think the story that said that they were buying Valve was more so.
Mm.
I think it was one that was clickbait, and it was one more. It was probably more so like they were actually teaming up with Valve and not buying them. So that's
I
why I
think they
need to
need to
find
know.
that story
Yeah.
again. And I have it bookmarked somewhere in my phone on one of the tabs that I have, one of the 1,000 tabs. But
I
I
think
want to
that
go back
rumor
and read
came
it.
from yeah, I think that rumor came from there was a screenshot months ago where they had like the Steam logo on an Xbox system.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it came from that. But I doubt if there'll be. I mean, I'll be surprised if they do, but I doubt seriously if they'll end up buying Steam.
Well, and that's why I said I don't think it was a buying one. I think it was more so a teaming up, and I really think that's what it is. And I
Yeah.
think that story was one of those clickbait stories. That's why I didn't really like go into it and read it, because I believe it was possibly a clickbait story. But I want to go back and read it, like when I'm sitting down, I have actual time to actually pay attention and read it. So, might have to actually come back and talk about that. But before I go into any further, I wanted to actually say, so there was 2 other games that I wanted to actually kind of discuss really quick, and then we can go ahead and start wrapping it up from there. But there's 2 other games that I think would be great for first time gamers, and for younger, even a little bit older, but for really real easy first time, you got to be able to start with Mario, any type of Mario game, any type, but there's so many different ones because they even have old school Mario RPG. So someone who might like RPGs, that one, it was actually fun. I played that and I've played that multiple times and I love that game. Um, and they have a couple different ones. If you like fighting games, you can do Smash Brothers. If you like racing games, they got Mario Kart. They got Mario Party for the social. So look into Mario and see one of those type of games. You can find a genre of Mario that you like that is actually really cool. Um, but my other one that I think would be a good starting game, especially someone who's really into action, would be God of War. God of War is such a good game because of just you can actually button mash and do some damage just from button mashing on that game. And yeah, I don't even want to say
Original
just God of War.
or-
Actually,
original series or the
both,
more modern one.
both,
Okay.
both. Because like I said, you can actually just button mash with those, and they would actually that would actually work out. It would really work out for you, and you'll have fun. Now you won't be able to do a whole bunch of things because when it comes to the cutscenes and different stuff. But by that time you get to some of those things, you would have figured out a good portion of the game and gameplay. So, you would
There
have time in. Go ahead.
there is one area in the first game though that I think they should quit before they get to. That does part with the spinning blades.
The spinning
Because
blades. Which one?
I think that area is difficult enough that it would make somebody wanna quit gaming.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up really quick. So we had a couple people comment on our I posted on our TikTok page. So quite a few people commented on the TikTok page, and excuse me. So some of the people that commented, one of the ones that I was actually thinking about, but I kind of changed my mind on. Someone said Metal Gear Solid. That was a good series they can actually try to start with. Another person actually agreed with me. God of War. They said that God of War 2018 though. Um,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, for you two, Mass Effect. That was a good one. Some people say. Someone said their troll pick. They said it would be the Legend of Zelda game. Any Zelda games.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
for
It
a
all
first
depends on
time
which
gamer.
one.
For a first time gamer, I wonder about that. I
Yeah,
wonder.
it depends on which one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. R6, and I forgot what. Oh, Rainbow Six. R6. Yes. So put them in Rainbow Six. I don't think any of those type of shooter games. I don't think those will be good first time gamers. But I haven't tried Rainbow Six yet. Well, no, I've tried Rainbow Six, but I played like Rainbow Six Vegas back in the day. I'm not talking about current stuff. I haven't played any of the current stuff in a while. As a matter of fact, I haven't played Rainbow Six since. Oh man, yeah, I think it was Vegas. I think it was Rainbow Six Vegas, or no, it might have been Vegas too. But
I've been
and then
thinking about playing Vegas too recently.
Yeah.
one
But then
of the
also
crazy
played. I
games.
also played Graw too. Graw and Graw 2, actually. I think I got them both down there too. Someone said Bloodborne. I haven't played that one. Elden
Isn't
Ring.
that a Bloodborne? Isn't that a From Software game?
I'm not sure. I'm not
It's
sure.
it's hard, but it's really hard. But from what I understand, though, it's one of those ones that you can actually, grind through enough and actually get, better as you go along. But that
Uh,
might be a little bit difficult for a first time gamer, though.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Anything from Software is too damn. It's hard for a seasoned veteran.
Yeah. Yeah. And so someone else said Portal 2 and
Yeah, that's a
GTA
good one.
San Andreas. And
Okay.
I don't know if y'all heard me, but I also said Elden Ring.
No.
Elden Ring. And that
No.
person was truly trolling.
Another From
Not unless-
Software game.
Yeah, that person was truly trolling.
masochist.
Yeah. I really think that person was just messing with people. So
Yeah, he was,
but those are all different picks from different people. And I truly think that you have to ask yourself what type of person this is that's actually going to touch the games, because starting from that, I asked my daughter yesterday or day before yesterday, I was like, yo, tell me what game the first game you remember playing? Because I know when she was little, I put her on games just to try to get her to teach her how to play video games back when I had my PS2 and we were in our first townhouse. So she was little. She was like, I want to say 3 or 4 years old, maybe 5. But it was before we moved to our second place that we lived at. And when we were living there, like I said, I just let her play with it, because there were times where I wanted her to kind of understand video game mechanics, just because and it kind of bit me in the butt too, because at some point, sometimes I'll be on the game, I want to play a game by myself, and she wants to come in and join in too. So that was kind of that was bad. But I'm trying to remember what game it was I put her on, and I couldn't remember, and I was trying to see if she remembered, because then most of the time you remember your first game. Chris, your first game, quick. What's your first game?
I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, come on. You don't
No,
remember the name of
because
your
it was
first game.
like my first game was like this arcade game that they had out of, which was probably just a Target game that they had.
I'm talking about the first one you
at a
remember.
Pizza Hut.
The first one you remember.
That is
Like,
about the first one I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
First digital
it
game?
was one that you had to.
The first digital game. The first digital game you remember.
Yeah, it basically was one of those ones that had the LED lights. It didn't have a screen, but it had but it was one of those LED games, and it was like a Target game that they had at this pizzeria, and that kind of stoked
remember now
my
from your
interest in
story.
games. Period.
Yeah, your
because
solo
that
episode.
predated. Yeah, that predated. Our Atari and all, and even the home consoles with the what you call it. Yeah, it predated even that.
Yeah. Black, quick, what's the first game you remember?
First game I remember was Double Dragon Arcade.
Double Dragon Arcade. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I want to say the first one I remember now is probably not the first one I played, but the first one I remember was Pong with the little dials. And it was on our home system with those little paddle dials. That's the first one I actually remember playing. Now,
oh man,
the first actual Atari game that I remember, the first thing I remember on because I think Pong came before Atari. It might have came after, but either way, the next game I remember that's actually more of like a controller game like this, that I remember was Joust. So that was the next one I remember. But again, if we go back and talk about my other gaming experiences and stuff, I had a completely different gaming experience start. Also same thing. If you remember from the first episode, I didn't get a Nintendo as fast as everybody else. I didn't get a Nintendo until the Power Pad came out. So there was a lot more to it, and just overall, I had a different experience growing up than a lot of other kids. So, I can actually say, I don't think I've ever met anyone else who's had a TI Basic like we did. I don't think so. No one else for that system. And it ended up being called, we called it the TI Basic, but it was a TI something else. It was a Texas Instruments something else. And if you remember episode 1, we talked about it. I don't remember it again. I can go back and go over it again, but nah, I don't need to. I'll probably just put the picture up again somewhere around here or there or wherever. So, but anyway, so
Man.
go ahead. What'd you say, Black?
No, I was gonna say you said Pong. I was like, man, I remember that, but I ain't want to mention it because I didn't want to tell her.
Because it's so old.
It's old. It's so old, man.
Bro, we're almost 50, so yeah, we're getting there. It's all good. Yeah, I know he's already there.
Thanks for reminding me, buddy. Appreciate that.
Hey, couple more weeks, man. Couple more weeks. Hey, for me, it's a couple more days. So either way.
Oh yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, a couple more days. So yeah, and it's so funny because when I went to our school earlier today, I was talking about how I was walking around the halls, whatever, and I just don't remember because it was our middle school and they had completely renovated our middle school and it's now a totally different other school name. And I was talking about it, I was like, yeah, this and that, whatever. And the person I was walking with, they was like, yeah, I remember it being this, but I don't remember it being that or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, it was this school name. And then I was like, yeah, it was like, I would say, I want to say I was here like 89, maybe 87, somewhere around there. And I was talking about whatever year it was. And that person was like, well, how old are you? I was like, oh, well, I'm about to be 48. They was like, what? So yeah, it's wild.
It's pretty much the old. That's all it is.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but either way, so we're about to wrap up. And I did want to say though, I do want to have a couple more interviews. I'm trying to find some cosplayers to interview. I'm trying to find some different gamers. I'm trying to find people with unique gaming, movie, TV stories to interview and be on our show. Different kind of people that are someone that can actually work with us, not work with us, but somebody we can actually collab with that actually is part of the genre, someone who has the love. So I want to talk to other adult gamers. I want to talk to anime lovers. I want to talk to and when I say anime lovers, now I love anime. I'm not as deep as some of these people. My uncle sends me different anime pics that he watches because he watches it all the time. He's always on it. He's like, yo, this is good. This is good. This is good. I can't keep up. I really can't. But I want to talk to anime lovers. I want to talk to other people with other shows. I actually had an idea that I kind of want to talk to, and I'm going to talk to you guys about. But I was talking to my boss earlier, and he had given me the idea to talk about cryptids, Bigfoot, Mothman, and different. That's actually kind of in our little geek genre realm too. So that would actually be a pretty cool show. Yeah.
Oh, you talk about like the monster and what's it the Jersey Devil?
Yeah, right.
Stuff like that.
Right. That would actually be pretty dope, man. So I would love to talk to somebody about that and their thoughts on those, So I would have to do a little bit more research for some of them because I've never actually delved deep into it. So that would probably be more of an interview than the actual show, but it could be a show with all three of us. So I would love to actually kind of look into some of that and some of the people who are fascinated by those types of beings. So, if you're into any of that kind of stuff, please hit us up, comment, like, share. You can actually email us as well, which I'm about to give all of our socials in a minute. So, but I definitely want to find more people to be on our show and to actually talk to. Chris, I haven't talked to Mike yet. I kind of wanted to get him back on our show, maybe a gaming show, maybe another movie or TV show. But I know he's been busy with Little Miss, so that's why I haven't asked Mike to come back on. But I would love to have him come back on with video, hopefully, if we can. So I definitely want to because he was actually really good to guest. I really liked having him on, so that was really fun. So, but either way, again, I would love to hear from our audience, from everyone in our audience. If you want to reach out to us, you can actually email us at toldmywifepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Instagram at toldmywifepodcast, which actually at toldmywifepodcast is going to be most of our socials. So it's our YouTube page, it's our TikTok, but you can actually follow us on Facebook. I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. So you want to subscribe to our YouTube page at Told My Wife Podcast. You can actually find me on TikTok at Slim Taurus 78. You can actually find our TikTok page, Told My Wife Podcast TikTok page at Told My Wife Podcast. I actually did a little skit. I might put a small clip of the skit in somewhere on the show here so you can actually see. I posted one of my skits so far. I filmed 2 more. I've actually filmed 3 more, but one of them I have to refilm. So I filmed 2 more. I'm going to post those up in a couple of days. And I'm gonna actually post comments and I mean not comments, but I'm gonna post questions and different things like that too. I'm gonna actually like put out the call to other cosplayers and as well. So um, before we sign off, fellas, you got anything? Starting with Chris, you got anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, just shoot. If you got anybody out there that wants to get in the game, these are some pretty good ideas as far as I guess a starting point. And I'm definitely gonna take some of these into mind next time my cousin comes down. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. See, you know what? And as far as your cousin goes, that would be a good kind of test. If it's going to be a while for next time you talk to your cousin, then that would be a test that I think I want to test out with somebody else that I wanted to actually kind of record somebody like gaming, you know? I kind of want to like kind of get their perspective on never touching a controller, sitting down, kind of trying to figure it out, get both the screen and get their face and all that. So you'll see, but if you do, or if you're able to actually get your cousin on a game and try it out, please record. I would love to ask them, of course get consent, but get them on, and I would love to actually record and throw that up on our socials. So hey, Black, you got anything before we sign off?
No, I'm piggybacking off Slim. Yeah, just hit us up on Told My Wife Podcast at gmail.com and all the rest of the ones that Slim mentioned. You won't find the Raging Bull on TikTok because I got banned for never joining in the first place.
Yeah, he never joined TikTok. He doesn't do the socials very well at all. But either way, talking about Raging Bull though, before we sign off, again, like I said at the top of the show, we're probably gonna get Black an episode, his own episode. Chris did it, I did it. We're gonna go ahead and get Black one of his own episodes, and that will probably be a Raging Bull episode, or it might be something else. But we're gonna see how it flows and how he feels, and let it roll. That would actually be kind of dope. So, but thanks for joining us, and until the next one, I'm Slim,
and I am Black,
and I'm Chris.
And whether you're binging or button mashing, we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Peace.